Today, we're breaking down a moment that, frankly, changed warfare forever. Operation Epic Fury. And this wasn't just some other military strike. Nope. This was the dawn of a new age. Really, the world's first war fought and won by artificial intelligence.
This quote right here, it just perfectly captures the shift we're about to explore. We're talking about moving way beyond tanks and jets into a reality where the most powerful weapons are actually built on code. So let's get into how this all went down.
Okay, so picture this. February 28th, 2026. The United States and Israel launched this incredibly coordinated series of strikes against Iran. But the real story here, the thing that changes everything, isn't just what they did, it's how they did it. The main goal was to take out Iran's entire leadership in one fell swoop. And, well, the operation worked. Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei was killed, confirmed by both U.S. and Israeli officials. It was a surgical strike that basically decapitated an entire regime. But here is the massive twist. The final call, the targeting, the actual execution of the strike, it all happened at a speed that no human could possibly keep up with. So how on earth did a network of algorithms pull off one of the biggest assassinations of the 21st century? Well, the answer lies in something called the AI-powered kill chain. And this isn't just one piece of software. Think of it as a whole sequence of interconnected systems, each one playing a crucial part. It's a chain that stretched all the way from the tech campuses of Silicon Valley to a secure bunker deep inside Tehran. We can really break this kill chain down into four main stages. First up, you have data fusion, creating a perfect digital replica of the battlefield. Then comes intelligence synthesis, where an AI analyzes that picture faster than any human team ever could. After that, you've got target generation, which just automatically spits out lists of who and what to hit. And finally, the last step, autonomous execution, carried out by swarms of intelligent drones. Let's dig into each one. And what's absolutely wild is that this whole thing wasn't just a military operation. It was powered by commercial tech from some of the biggest names you'd find right in the heart of Silicon Valley. So, at the very center of it all, you had Palantir. Their platform, AIP, was basically the central nervous system for the entire operation. It hoovered up every single piece of data you can imagine, from satellites, drones, communications intercepts, and fused it all into one single real-time model of the entire country of Iran, a digital twin. Now, the magic that makes this possible is a tech called ontology. See, instead of human analysts having to sort through mountains of raw, chaotic data, ontology does it for them. It automatically transforms all that noise into simple digital objects. This is a person. This is their location. This is a missile launcher. Suddenly, commanders weren't looking at data streams anymore. They were looking at a living, breathing, intuitive map. Okay, but for a digital brain like that to work, it needs a constant, uninterrupted flow of information. And that's where SpaceX came in. Iran did everything it could to jam communications, but it didn't matter. SpaceX's Starshield satellite network created this unbreakable high-speed connection from orbit. U.S. forces literally called it digital oxygen. It was the very air the whole operation needed to breathe. So you've got the data flowing in. Now you need an analyst, but not a human one. For this, they used Anthropic's AI, Claude. Running on classified networks, Claude performed what they call intelligence synthesis. It churned through thousands of hours of intercepted Persian communications to find weaknesses, to simulate escape routes, to game out the perfect strike plan. And human analysts could just talk to it. They could ask it a question just like this one, and Claude would instantly generate an optimized plan, highlighting the most likely escape routes, all based on military doctrine and every piece of real-time data it was seeing. It was like having the world's greatest military strategist on speed dial, 24/7. So we've got the digital brain, we've got the superhuman analyst. The next step, you need to actually generate the targets. For this part of the job, the U.S. relied on a suite of tactical AI systems developed by the Israeli Defense Forces, systems that have earned the pretty chilling nickname, the Mass Assassination Factory. And this factory has a few key components. You've got the Gospel, which recommends building targets and can generate about 100 of them a day. For perspective, a human team might do 50 in a whole year. Then there's Lavender, which scores millions of people to automatically flag who it thinks are militants. And maybe most disturbing, Where's Daddy, which tracks a target to their family home, identifying the moment they arrive as the best time for a strike. So with all this automation, How much human oversight are we talking about? How much time did a commander spend reviewing these AI-generated targets? Well, according to reports, about 20 seconds. Just 20 seconds to give it a once-over before sending it on. Barely enough time to confirm the target was male.
And that brings us to the final piece of this puzzle, the execution. This was handled by swarms of intelligent, collaborative drones from companies like Anduril and Shield AI. They're part of this whole new idea called software-defined air superiority, where, honestly, the code running on the drone is more important than the drone itself. And their most revolutionary trick? Something they call an in-flight brain swap. What does that mean? Well, if an enemy jams one of the drone's AI control systems, it can just instantly switch to a different one mid-flight. It's like updating an app on your phone, but in the middle of a dogfight. This made the swarms unbelievably tough and almost impossible to stop. But while this perfectly engineered symphony of technology was playing out on the battlefield, a completely different war was being fought behind the scenes. This was a battle over code, ethics, and control, pitting the AI's creators against its military users. And at the heart of it was this fundamental disagreement. The Pentagon basically demanded that Anthropic remove all the safety guardrails from its AI Claude. They wanted to use it for all lawful purposes. But Anthropic said no. They drew a hard line in the sand. No mass surveillance, and absolutely no fully autonomous weapons without a human in the loop. And this whole thing escalated incredibly fast. So after Claude was used successfully in an operation back in January, the Pentagon wanted more. On February 27th, Anthropic refused their demands. The Trump administration's response was immediate. They declared the company a national security risk and banned the government from using it. But then, and this is the crazy part, just hours later, Operation Epic Fury kicks off, with Claude, the newly banned AI, still running as a critical part of the mission. Look, this operation didn't just change the battlefield, it completely rewrote the rules of global power. We have officially entered an era of, well, you could call it software-defined geopolitics. To make sense of this new reality, military strategists talk about the 3 clocks theory. The military clock, thanks to AI, now runs at lightning speed. You can go from seeing a target to destroying it in seconds. But the other 2 clocks, the economic clock that manages supply chains and the political clock that deals with, winning public support, they can't keep up. The takeaway is simple. AI can win you a battle, but it can't win you the peace. This quote from the Wall Street Journal just nails it. It really gets to the profound psychological shift here. When decisions are being made by algorithms in microseconds, that whole human element, emotions like fear or doubt or hesitation, it's almost completely stripped out of the equation. And that leaves us with one final, pretty unsettling question. Operation Epic Fury proved just how terrifyingly efficient AI warfare can be. It showed that you can topple a regime with algorithms. But in doing so, it has also made the decision to go to war dangerously easy. So the real question for all of us is this. When war becomes as simple as clicking a button on a screen, who gets to decide when to click?